what do you receive as a customer of TrustCore SDK?
So when you purchase TrustCore, we license it in a variety of models. First of all, we have a number of very flexible licensing models, per device model, a product family licensing type model, enterprise, royalty. So we have lots of options for licensing TrustCore that make it easy for you to absorb into your product. Because obviously OEMs building products need to be conscious of their cost and their COGS and their bill of materials and costs. So we make we have a very flexible licensing model. When you do acquire TrustCore, you get the full source code. You get 100% of the source code, all written in C, and full support from us for new features, fixes, CVEs. Everything's included with the package. We're not open source, but that allows us to also be very fast and nimble in terms of being able to provide high quality code to our customers. And, TrustCore has been battle tested. And by the fact that we give our customers the source code, they can run it through their own security toolings to verify that indeed it is a battle tested, well secured code base. And the fact that we have it FIPS compliant is another testament to how secure and battle tested the code is.
Do you mind just elaborating a little bit on FIPS 140-3?
Yeah. So FIPS is a standard that the US government has put out there on crypto that is required when you're selling devices to US government. Think Department of National Defense, DOD, etc., CIA. So if you're selling devices, connected devices to US government, they pretty much require FIPS, FIPS 140-2. Now, FIPS 140-3 has recently come out, and so it kind of up-levels the requirements. And so we have obtained our first of two FIPS 140-3 certifications from NIST. NIST kind of oversees the whole FIPS certification process. And so TrustCore has previously FIPS 140-2. We have two certifications. And we have one of the two now for FIPS 140-3, and we expect to get the second one within a few weeks from now. So this is required basically as a checkbox if you're selling to US government. Often you'll see this as part of the RFP package that you might get as an OEM. You'll have to check off the box saying, yes, my product is FIPS 140 compliant.
And I think what other customers that may be saying, well, I don't need FIPS compliance can maybe derive from this is understanding that we are upholding that level of security. So while you may not be requiring it, you can be assured that we're providing that regardless of whether you need it. And we're having that really high standard and continuously evolving that and developing our capabilities.
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
This is a subject that is often brought up when we start talking about our competitors. Because everybody's trying to win that race of who has the highest level of security. How does TrustCore SDK, I guess, compare with those competitors like OpenSSL and WolfSSL?
Yeah, so with OpenSSL, I mean, it is open source, but you'll find that it lacks a lot of the features that you'll get right out of the box with TrustCore SDK. So it's missing DTLS 1.3. It has no SCEP client, S client, SSH client or server, no MQTT client. And so companies that are building connected products and writing their code on top of OpenSSL will have to pull in 5-10 additional packages, open source or closed source, into their software to accomplish really what they need to do. Because crypto is just one piece of the many security things that developers would have to do on a device, right? So with TrustCore, we've got all those bases covered and it's included in the SDK. So OEMs aren't forced to use additional open source or closed source libraries, which, expands their threat surface. You saw, earlier this year, the XZUtils compromise, where an open source repo was basically compromised by threat actors, right? They kind of took over the maintenance of the repo. Right. So now if you're relying on these open source libraries and you're not fully confident on who owns and maintains them, but you're basing your security on those, you could be in a problem. And again, with these regulations, you're now liable as an OEM building connected products. So there is a challenge there around open source. With Wolf SSL, again, they don't have many of the clients we support in TrustCore, SCEP, EST. You'll also need separate commercial licenses for these modules. So if you need to also have an MQTT client on your device, well, then you go license Wolf MQTT. If you want to utilize a TPM on the device, well, then you have to go and get Wolf TPM. So again, a similar issue where you're grabbing all these other extra capabilities and licensing them, and versus just getting them included with TrustCore.